Morning YouTube, it's Sunday the 24th of June and it's time to have a little look for some Forex price action for the week coming ahead. So we'll start off with the dollar index again, have a little look what happened sort of last week. So on the 18th we were trying and testing the 95 level. So I think what I was saying last week was looking at where we had the previous structure over here, there's a possibility that the price could try and break this level. Now, if we have a quick look, price did attempt to break out of this sort of range, but it had a push and the tops there, let's just get down to the 4 hour just so I can make sure the level is at the right highs, because it doesn't look, it looks like price pushed up, but the close, we didn't have a close above. So let's just go back out to the daily and check out what went on. So back over here, so as we can see, price did attempt to push past the 95 cents level, push up, and it didn't actually make a close above 95.15. So we can see wicks, we can see wicks, we can see wicks, which if we had seen a strong candle close above this level, then I would have thought that price would retest the 95 first before potentially moving up. What has happened is we've pushed and we've pushed, but we've closed below ever so slightly, and now we've pushed back down to the 14 EMA. So let's just drop down to the 4 hour and have a look and see. So we've re-entered this zone, and what we're, in my mind, would be if we are pushing below the 50, there's a chance we could meet up with this 200 EMA and see where that goes. So at the moment, price has currently given us 382. So the 618, getting ahead of myself here. The 618 gives us, if we said, around 94 cents, which does push us back down into structure. And from there, that's in the middle of obviously the price range. So if the structure here is respected, if of course price does continue to push down, then there's a chance that we may move up. Where could that move be? So if price pushes down to the 618, then 96.42 on the dollar index. So let's just have a look and see how that translates onto a currency pair like the Euro USD. So last week we've seen price, obviously what we got to remember with the dollar index, any pairs such as Euro USD, Pound USD, the dollar is, it's the euro or the pound against the dollar. So if the dollar index is pushing up or pushing down, the opposite's going to happen. So for example, here we've had the dollar index pushing down, which means the Euro USD would have been pushing up. So this big impulse leg here, pushing down, we can see on the dollar it was pushing up. So that's one way you can understand by looking at the dollar index. It's how some people can use this as a bit of extra confluence because it's just the dollar, about what the movements of the dollar is doing. That could help you identify other opportunities on dollar pairs. So if we're looking at the USD CAD, for example, you would expect to see the price being in a more bullish momentum. Let's just see, because I haven't looked at the USD CAD, but it would, just an example of what I'm talking about. Let's just go up here, USD CAD. So you can see that the dollar CAD is pushing up. So I think we'll take a look at that one later as well. So going back to the Euro USD, so we've respected the bottom of the range at 1.154 flat. Price is pushed up. We're now at the 14 EMA on the daily. Last week I was looking at price coming up to sort of this area, respecting the EMA. what happened there is prices then retested once, twice. It did try on the third attempt to break below, even though we had a bearish close. We've then had this very bullish candle, and prices decided then to move up. But again, we didn't close below this wick here, which again, even though we've had this very bearish close below this level, ultimately we would have wanted a close below this wick to signal a possible downtrend, because as you can see, when price respect to the 14 EMA, we've pushed back down, whereas price gone back to the 14 EMA, we've pushed back down, and it's at this point that the EMA prices start then to break above. Is that to say that the price is going to continue its bullish momentum? Well, let's have a little look and see what we've got with regards to some fibs. So as we can see, price has pushed up. We've broken above the 50 EMA now, started making some wicks. From a Fibonacci point of view, again, we've got like a double top here with price. So if we push up towards the 618, which again does put us back up into structure, so you could say the 17,200 flat level, just because I find more confluence with these round numbers, and from all the videos that I've watched from other people like Jason Gravestone and Akil Stokes, they're always talking about even handle numbers, round numbers, and it's true, price just seems to gravitate towards them. So we'll just put in this ray at 17, we'll look at 200, and if I was looking to take a trade on this pair, that for me would be a good strong area where if there's the right signs, depending on your strategy of course, the price could go down. And so for the moment on the Euro USD, this is sort of the area I'm going to be, well, I'm not going to be watching it because I don't trade this pair, but we'll see where price is next week. But if you were trading it, I would say that's a good area to have a little look. So if we just drop down to the 1 hour, again, just looking at the structure at that level up here, where resistance could become support, support becomes resistance. Get me words muddled up again. So how could we get to that level? So again, on the 1 hour chart, price is pushed up. We've come down to 200 EMA. We've showed signs of respecting it. Again, previous support or previous resistance turning support even. I will get it around the right way eventually. So let's have a little look and see how we could potentially get to the 17,200. So we've had this impulse leg up, pull back to the 14, and then we've had another impulse up. So I would take price. I'm going to take my fib measurement from where price is pushed up and to pull back to this sort of consolidation area here. So looking at the sort of lows and the most common area structure, if I measure my fib from the swing low to swing high, price has come down and hit the 618. So we've come down, tried again, respected, and then we moved up. So potentially, if the fib inversion lines up with the 17,200, so a bit of brain, it's probably this heat, not used to these warm spells here in England. So it doesn't quite put us there, but again, it just shows a good indication that the 1700 flat level potentially could be another area that price might start to push towards, which also would bring us into this structure over here. So it's going to be a general area to watch for price, but I'm expecting price to come to this level first, and then this is where I would be looking at potential shorts depending on what the price action is saying. So we'll see how the price plays out during the week. Obviously, no need to overcomplicate things or go into too much detail because we're in no man's land of this daily range at the moment. We're right in the middle. So if we go to the daily, you can see that as it stands, we're in this range. So again, price could on the daily respect this level and then push down. So let's just get rid of some of these fibs just on the daily. If you're a swing trader on the higher time frames as opposed to sort of looking at the hour and 2 hour charts, overall price, if we take from the very top, yeah, I mean, again, I think there's a potential. For me, the best area would be that 17,200. So you've got this whole zone here where price could come to. So let's just edit these points, 17,200. So yeah, that's going to be, I'll leave that on the chart. So next week when I come back, we'll see what's happened. Euro Aussie is another one we looked at last week. So again, we've had another bullish momentum week. I think last week when I had to have a quick look at the video just to see what I was waffling on about. So again, on the daily, we've come up to this 1.57 flat level, which is currently showing signs of previous structure. So we've got this nice area here, this whole sort of range, which we've got there. Just going by what's happened here. Now on the 4 hour where I was looking, I think we looked at a fib inversion from here. So the price we've seen, so we had the fib come up, hit this high, we hit the 618 and we did the fib inversion, and the 1618 took us to the 58, I was saying 58,500 last week, because we bring us up here. So again, at the moment, there is a possibility that price could continue if it starts to respect this level. So we've seen on the 14 EMA, let's just get rid of, let's just hide that. We've started to see rejection in price. So price has been pushing down, it's been pushing down, it's been pushing down. So there is a chance that we could still go up to the 58,500 level. If I just get rid of this fib and this fib. Again, looking from where the price previously came down to, if we take a measurement there of where price is currently, we've come down to the 38 fib, 382, the inversion, which you would have taken there. Again, it does push us up higher. So I'm still saying there's a chance that if this level is respected, that price is going to go up to, say, the 58,500 level. It's, again, on the higher time frames, it's just an area that is on puts us back up around here. But that said, I would want to see a close above these highs and a retest before, you know, we need to go above, retest this level where it might go, because at the moment there is a chance that price could push lower. We could retest from the bottom and then just move down to maybe the 200 EMA, bit of structure here, which on the overall movement, if that's what's going to happen, that would give us the 618. So, a couple of things. So, if this is really the top where price is found, there's a good, I mean, again, for longs, ideally, I would wait for this area before I would take any longs going up, just because of what is lining up here. So, we've got that there, the Euro Oz. Looking at the pound yen. Last week I took 2 trades on this. The first one, at the start of the week I was fishing. My previous trade hit target for 231 pips. What then happened is I was looking for further shorts. I waited for price to come back up, and because I didn't take the measurements of my fib on the daily like this, because I wasn't looking at this measurement, I entered too early. So on the 4 hour, I looked at a move, I believe it was from this level. I was like, well, price came down, we went up to the EMA and we pushed down. And even if I'd taken my fib from this structure, really I should have been sticking to these zones on the daily, because I've entered the trade, we're currently pushing down, so I'm currently, what's the entry on this one? So the entry price that I got, I think it was 46,600 was the price that I entered at. So 46,600. That's an order that I placed. Again, I placed it at a round number. And we'll use the price range just to have a little look and see. So, price pushed down. It was probably about 100 pip move down. And we're currently floating around obviously the EMA is still showing that we're below the 200. We're breaking back below the 50, so it could retest the top of the 50 before a touchdown. But at the moment, we're still 79 pips into the trade. On the hour, again, there's a chance that price could push up to this level here before it continues down. Which, if you weren't already involved, that would give you. The top of the range, that would be 46,200 might be a good area to look. That's a 618 sort of area that would give you a safer, less risk entry. But at the moment, that's still playing out. So again, I'm going to leave that one. No need to add any more to that potential trade. And the target for that trade I've got is 43, which puts us down here. Which on... should put a horizontal line in. That puts us, he says. So I'm still very bearish on the pound against the yen. 43 flat brings us down to this structure here. So on the daily, we've respected the 14, so I'm still happy with that. Let's have a look at the USD CAD, because I mentioned that earlier again. I haven't really looked at this pair for quite some time. I used to, but let's have a quick top-down analysis just to see what's been going on. So, as we can see, we've recently had a bit of a bull run from these lows down from 2011. Impulse up, and we've been making, you could say, a bit of a flag there. So let's just put in a couple of key levels where has price come up. So we've got here, let's say 39.5, looks like a good level. 39.5, which does tie in over here, so that's nice. And the lows on the monthly, what are we saying here? So we'll say 2,600. Where does that go? So 2,600 again. It's got there. So that's sort of like a monthly range we're in at the moment. So we're currently bang smack in the middle of the monthly. Going to the weekly last week, then that would have. You can see here. So price did try last week to push up, and it's sort of come back again, which does coincide with this structure we've got with these lows here. So support turning into resistance. We've had this sort of area here, but as you can see on the weekly, price is going up. We've had across now the EMAs, which again you wouldn't have seen that you would have seen it last week, but the price is really moving away from the EMAs now. On the daily, so as with the dollar index, it looks like there's a potential for a pullback. Where would we pull back to? Well, the 14 EMA would be the first area, which could line up with these highs. Before we see further movement going up. So again, a bit of indecision around here. We've tried, but we didn't have. Do we have a? No, we didn't have a candle close above the 40. The 1.33300 level. We didn't have a close above that. So down on the 4 hour, what could we expect to see? So on the 4 hour, if I just take a measurement from the most recent bit of structure before we had the impulse up, so the 618 brings us back to sort of 31,150, which does coincide with this sort of structure here. So I would expect, looking at what the chart is doing at the moment and what's previously been doing, for a bit of a pullback first before a possible further push up. It's, you know, last year or the year before, when I was watching the USD CAD, there was just this whole, before we had the massive bear run, we did have this epic, you know, the price of the dollar was just going up and up and up. So, you know, as you can see, it's just going up and up and up for, that was July 2012 up until, so for like 3 years, you know, that was a good bull run there. Now you get on the daily, really, all that's happened is, you know, price did range a bit. It's still not really done much because we've got the highs here, the lows there. You know, we could retest the top here before retest the bottom, or if we break above, and we could go. So yeah, there's just a few thoughts on those pairs this week. As said, the only one that I actually trade is the pound yen. So for me, it just means that it's one thing to concentrate on. I can really get my head around the movements. Yes, it is probably one of the more volatile pairs, but it means that the risk reward is greater, and that's what I'm looking for, especially with the swing trading. It just works out, in my opinion, better for the style of trading that I want to get into. So that's all we've got this week for the pairs. We will see how the week plays out. And there's a couple of other videos I'm going to do today around XRP, a more crypto side of things. But we will see what price does next week. Obviously, these views may contradict your own views, which is perfectly fine because we all interpret the charts differently. But you never know, this might just give you some areas to focus on and areas to sort of watch out for some action potential moves. Anyway, have a nice Sunday, and we'll look again at these pairs next week.